Not long ago, we hit 11,000 users on Discord. Guys, what are you waiting for? Come with us, you'll be glad you did. We want you to subscribe to our channel by the end of this video. Please don't forget to use the free Discord deal that is written below. That site also charges for things, but there is a lot of free information on this one. In the last few days, there has been some good news in the markets, but nothing really interesting. From the list of cryptocurrencies, you can see that Bitcoin is only worth about $87,000. XRP is worth about $2.40, and Ethereum is worth about $2,000. It's nice to see green again after a long time of dull prices, but gains over the last 24 hours have been small. Of Motion, you can see that average gains are back up by more than 10%. If we look at the 500 best stocks that have gained the most in the last 24 hours, we know that most of the gains are just a bounce off of lows, and that there aren't many big ones, but we still like seeing them. All of this has to do with the talks about tariffs and other things that are slowing down. I'm going to make a movie soon about this subject because it's so important for the future of this field and the whole space. Once those arguments end, we'll start getting important new information from the SEC and Congress. Justin was the first to tell us that the SEC's new leaders are going to shift the focus from putting crypto into law. It's wonderful. A number of cryptocurrency businesses and exchange-traded funds, ETFs in the US, have already been given permission to start. It seems like the SEC will keep putting out information and is okay with a lot of projects, such as ETFs. You already know that we are focusing on XRP's ETFs. More than 18 applications have been made for XRP-based ETFs. Once these ETFs are, the SEC is expected to say that the case is pretty much over after their meeting behind closed doors on Thursday. That's when I think ETFs will be approved. Since that seems likely, XRP will probably go up in value a lot. XRP is selling at around $2.40, with a few cents added. It would be great if the worth doubled, say from $2.40 to $5. We are also still working on a few big updates for XRP, even though the case is over. I believe Ripple will grow very quickly in the future. In the next episode of What's Happening in Washington, D.C., they also gave us a big update on the White House's attempts to get stablecoin legislation passed by the Senate. When we look at what's going on with stablecoins, the Digital Chamber blockchain meeting on Wednesday will be mostly about crypto policy. Stablecoins are going to become more and more common, as I have always said. Japan has agreed to accept USDC, as you can see from the rings on the right side of my screen. We also got new information about the Trump media account, and in the middle of the token controversy, Crypto.com is starting exchange-traded funds, ETFs. Crypto.com and other topics have been talked about a lot, and now we're starting to see some big changes in Crypto.com and stablecoins in general. Stablecoins have always been important to me in the market. We have about $200 billion right now, and we think that will grow into trillions in 3 years. It all starts with laws, and I believe the bill we're looking at now is the bill has to pass the House of Representatives before it can become law. The French-sponsored Stable Act will be looked at by the House Financial Services Committee on April 2nd. This is the form of the bill that lawmakers will vote on to settle any disagreements between it and the Genius Act. The bill will be talked about on the Senate floor by John Thune, who is in charge of the majority. Hill and Steele, David. If everything goes as planned, the White House thinks that the Senate version will pass with enough support as it is now. Stablecoin laws will almost certainly be put into law before the end of the year. This could happen as early as April. This is going to be very good for RUSD, and Ripple will make a lot of money from it. The XRP system will also be important. To show this, let's use Ripple and XRP. The CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, was on Fox Business not long ago. We have this message, as I said on Mornings Maria today. I believe we don't fully understand what needs to be done to open the US Bitcoin market, especially since new laws are on the way and previous statements and suggestions have been made. After 4 years of problems, the US really wants to get back to being a winner, and the SEC hasn't said anything yet this Thursday. I think this is the official movie. It's longer than most videos. I don't normally play ones that long, but it's worth it because we're hearing a lot about what the SEC did, what the choice means for the US market, what the recent growth means, and a big thank you to Bank XRP. Click here to see that we're back. All of the prices of coins are higher this morning. The SEC released its report on its probe into the cryptocurrency exchange Ripple. This is the latest of the Trump administration's many efforts to loosen rules in the Brad Garlinghouse, who is the CEO of the digital asset business, is going to be here soon. Brad, it's great to see you again. Thank you for being here. Good job with the SEC's move. In this way you can praise the whole business. I believe that Ripple was one of the first cryptocurrencies. They will be charged by the SEC. You may remember that when we first started we said that the SEC would be breaking the law. In the past it took us more than $150 million in legal fees, and a lot more time to prove this. We are happy with the result because it lets us open up the US cryptocurrency market, which was closed and hard to do before. We also saw how the buyers felt. Brad, XRP has gone up over the past week. What do you think about the Japanese bank's possible plans to use XRP in light of the global markets? What do you think about the growth of Ripple? The US markets were pretty much frozen after the lawsuit was brought, and the biggest banks, 95% of which are not based in the US, are the ones that are still in business. Companies that handle money like BBVA and HSBC. There's a chance that payment companies are new to you. There are still a lot of huge markets in Japan, and trillions of dollars are moving around the world. I don't think they're fully open yet. The most famous network is still SWIFT. This technology-based structure was made more than 50 years ago. In the past it was possible to become more advanced. This takes time, especially now that the US government is trying to stop new ideas from coming up. There is, however, a clear Trump effect on the prices of assets that you will also see in the use of these tools. Do you think that interest in Ripple will change in the United States? We have already changed our minds about Ripple. We have signed up in the United States. More contracts have been given out in the last 6 weeks since Trump was elected than in 6 months before. These are cutting-edge technologies that could change and become part of the U.S. banking system in the next 10, 20, or even 30 years, which would have an impact